Time now for the week that was. Let's take a look at the top stories that made headlines around the globe this week. First off, the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Emefiele, has appealed to Nigerians to be calm in the face of the current economic hardship brought about by difficulties in managing redesign of the high denominations of the Naira. Addressing a press conference in Lagos, Emefiele stated that the policy has recorded over 80% success rate. He advised against panic withdrawals and hoarding of the new issues of the Naira, adding that enough of the new notes have been offered to banks for distribution.
We are looking at areas where there is pressure, and we are doing everything possible to address those areas of pressure. And I mean, we've had cases where in some areas, some bank branches had some cash in their vaults because there was no demand for them. Because 896 billion naira is not issued by central bank into circulation in a day, that does not mean that there isn't adequate supply of currency in the market, in circulation. What we are only saying, and we have to admit it, that at this initial stage of the issues and circulation, we can't put 896 billion in one day into circulation. So that is the reason that we said, unfortunately, we do see that there will be some transient or temporary pains, but that we appeal, we are begging, we are on our knees begging people to please show understanding. They should be calm. They should be calm. In our meetings with the banks, we have told them, set up tents and chairs, give people numbers of 3.23 trillion naira in circulation. At least 2.7 trillion naira is hidden in people's homes. It does not augur well for the economy. It does not augur well for the growth of the Nigerian economy. It does not augur well for macroeconomic policy decisions that we take at the CBN. And that is the reason we are appealing that please, please, and please, we understand the pain. I have received several calls myself. Some members of my family themselves have complained. They will all have to just please show some understanding. It does not mean that when you go and you queue and it doesn't get to you, that you now begin to descend to wanton destruction of bank properties. Those bank properties are meant to serve you. This is where you have decided that you have trust in this institution. You have decided to entrust your own money with them. At this time that we're facing this temporary and transient situation, we crave everybody's understanding. Please be calm. We are monitoring all the situations on 24/7, both the cash channels and the electronic channels. You have had calls to call some banks, or they said your system is down here, and usually you will find that we can't run away from the fact that bank electronic channels will sometimes have downtime. And when we call them, I called the bank this afternoon, and within 20 to 30 minutes, they restored it. It does not mean that it does not work. I understand the agitation, but I'm appealing in God's name, that please, let's be calm. Let's take this easy. I might as well address the petrol station. Oh, he said, okay, he will normally accept the POS. I will appeal to the petrol station, continue to accept your POS. You will get your money. If you are getting your money account credited instant, it's possible that because of deluge of the volume that they've had to wait, then it does not mean you will not get your money. You will get your money. You will get your account credited. If your account is not credited, you have a right to complain. And I'm sure those who know what we are doing in consumer protection know that we have always shown sympathy sympathy towards those customers that have complaints against their banks. We are committed to this. We just need your understanding. I'm not going to pretend it's a difficult time. This ambitious program. But if we have not done this for 19 years, what we are supposed to be doing in 5 to 8 years, we should expect that there will be a few hiccups, but to assure all of us that those hiccups are being addressed. Those who went to Twitter, she's already currently under ICPC. the lady who was spraying packs of money, we will find all of you. One of them we found yesterday. I think that one is also with ICPC or EFCC. With EFCC, they will go to jail because you have broken the law. We will not allow you to create pain on Nigerians at this time when others are suffering. When you find them, please trace them, track them down to the bank official. Track them down to the central bank official. My hands are clean. I'm not going to be involved. Nobody should get themselves involved in colluding with anybody to be involved in giving money to people to go and spray at parties or go and be using multiple ATM cards to be involved in all this. It's a pain to all of us, but I can assure you that these people, either those held in Kano by the Nigerian police or EFCC in Lagos or in Abuja or ICPC, they will go to jail. We are going to monitor to ensure that they go to jail because they broke the law.
Meanwhile, many residents of Lagos have been stranded for days owing to the scarcity of cash from banks' automated teller machines. Arise News observed that many bank customers are stranded in different parts of Lagos, especially Ikeja, the capital, where some of them have been trekking for kilometers in order to access the cash that's not there. Tokumbo Oyetunji reports.
It is the first day of February, the original date set by the CBN for Nigerians to fully embrace the use of the redesigned Naira notes before the 10-day extension was announced by the central bank governor.
We have today sought and obtained Mr. President's approval for the following. 1. A 10-day extension of the deadline from January 31, 2023 to February 10, 2023.
If that announcement was supposed to bring some relief to Nigerians from the hardship they've been facing in accessing the new notes, it hasn't achieved much. On the contrary, the reality of the currency situation is that Nigerians, especially those at the lower end of the ladder, aren't finding things easy. Small-scale business operators are seldomly taking payment made with the old Naira notes, our check reveals, and majority of the people in Lagos are unable to access the currency from their bank's automated teller machines, the only means of getting the cash in their bank accounts as part of the current policy of the CBN. This is Oba Akran Avenue in Ikeja. It is home to many banks. Not all the ATMs here and surroundings are dispensing money. So for a few of them releasing cash, the queues are long, with customers spending hours to get even as little as 1,000 Naira.
I was here yesterday from 5 p.m. till some minutes after 12 a.m. Before you know, the ATM wasn't paying again. After the queue, long queue, I went home. Then this morning, I've been here since morning with my ATM. Since morning, trying to get even 5,000 for my kids, for my people to eat. I can't get 5,000, I can't even get 1,000 Naira since morning I've been here. I didn't know how to, whatever I do now is transfer, 100 Naira transfer, 50 Naira something transfer, ordinary pure water. How will you do it? I mean, the life is becoming so difficult for us.
I think this is the third place I've been to this morning. Based on the particular place we went to, the ATM is not paying. Because why I say it's not paying, because some other people, they collected, they will tell you that the ATM can only pay 5,000. For that 5,000, the other people will tell you that based on you are not using their, their ATM, so they will pay you 1,000. So I think that is why I say they are not paying. Understand? That is why I say they are not paying. But this particular place now that we are standing now, the queue is too much. Apparently,
there is still a huge gap in the supply of the notes to the deposit money banks, and that is putting the customers who are cash dependent under a lot of pressure.
I've been here since 10 o'clock.
6 p.m. now.
Yeah, so you can see how many hours I spent on the queue. Even as I'm on the queue, getting to the point of collection, they have exhausted the money on the ATM. So there's nothing. Since morning I left, I did night. I have to look for money that I will use and go back home. So that's why I'm still here.
Elsewhere, the currency scarcity also forms a major point of focus at this news briefing by the leadership of the National Youth Council of Nigeria.
The economy of the country is hanging in the balance as the new currency is yet to be circulated. Fights and long queue are seen at ATMs, and customers go through hardship to withdraw their own money. Even it's really saddens us that the young people that are doing the POS business are now finding it difficult to sustain their livelihood, their means of livelihood in the business.
From these events and the many streets of Lagos where many have their cash trapped in their bank accounts, the message to the authority is simple. Get a seamless policy that will accommodate their daily petty cash dependency side by side with the unfolding cashless policy. Tokumbo Oyetunji, Arise News, Lagos.
So, the CBN governor is asking us to be calm and saying there are a few hiccups here and there.
Yeah.
But the reality on ground depicts otherwise. That's not a few hiccups. That is a major problem right there, according to that report.
Yeah. I mean, it's a challenging situation, I can't recall a February in the recent history of Nigeria that has been this tough and challenging. Yes, I mean, we've just spent 4 days in February, but of course, what it means is that a new year from January to February, it's been tough. The closest to it will be in 2012, when the government of Goodluck Jonathan, increased fuel price and was, toying with the idea of removing subsidy and everything, which led to
backlash
to occupy Nigeria, immediately. But this is different. This is different because we're not just dealing with a challenging policy or the redesign of the Naira. We're dealing with, on the whole, a very bad economic outlook. We're dealing with fuel scarcity that has been there since October of last year, but it has gotten intense, all through Christmas, all through New Year, all through of January up till this money. Fuel is still very scarce. So if you put all those together, no cash in the pockets, no cash at the POS, it's tough to even make transfers successfully. Add that to the fuel scarcity, add that to the fact that life is generally hard. People basically have their, backs to the wall.
Indeed.
And people are complaining.
Talking about complaining, my worry is that, look, you have a 10-day extension.
Yes.
Why aren't you making this new note available to the people within that period as much as you can? Because even after February 10th, there is that worry that we are still going to go through all what we're going through right now. Beyond that, for some time to come.
Some of the challenges will still be there. And I think that...
I understand what the central bank is trying to do here, but in doing this, you're creating more problems.
It's a good policy, without a doubt, and I'm saying that with, having in mind that the ultimate goal is the cashless policy, of the central bank. But then what this has shown is that there will have to be a review here and there without having to dump or jettison the policy itself. In any case, it's too late to jettison, because the Naira has been redesigned.
But in reality, no nation can transit into a cashless narrative within a very short time. It takes time to get, and I'm even surprised that some segments of society will not be captured. You're talking about the aged, those who are not tech savvy. You're talking about those who ordinarily will still depend on cash at one point in time. Fine, it's all good. We had one of our in-house analysts talk about this sometime last weekend. And I told him, hey, look, you could have technology fails every now and then.
That's right.
So even if you're delving, you're laying emphasis on cashless policies, I think you still have to be flexible in terms of, let it spread out. We're talking about financial inclusivity, but you still have all these peculiar problems.
This is the way I look at it, and it is important not to take our eyes off the ball, of what the CBN is trying to do, of what it seems that the president has keyed into. What took us to this point? 85% of the cash in circulation was outside of the banking system, which is bad for the economy.
It is.
In order to retrieve and bring those, cash back, a redesign of the Naira, was necessary. It is possible that with the corner eye, politics could be a factor, especially the need not to have the elections hijacked by money bag, the need not to have votes bought, by money bag.
Already seen the outcry.
You can sense, where the noise is loudest.
Yeah.
But then about 2.9 trillion already returned to the coffers of the CBN. So it's 80%, of success. There's still about 900 billion of the old Naira notes out there, according to the CBN. The question will be, before we got to this point, what it meant was that about 15 to 20% of the cash in circulation was what the people were dealing with, without this headbutting, without crying and everything. So it looks to me like, even if CBN has about 20 to 25% of what is required in totality in printed notes, we won't be at the stage where we are now. So what is the problem? Could it be true what Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna is saying, that CBN only printed 300 billion Naira, as against, I will imagine, up to 1 trillion or something like that. If that is the case, will CBN be able to come out and say, these are the reasons? But going by what the CBN has been saying consistently, that it has enough cash to go around, and its policy of feeding every bank and every bank branch a certain amount of Naira on a daily and on a weekly basis. If that is true, then we shouldn't look any further than the sabotage within the system. And we see what is happening with those that they are already arresting, which the CBN governor says they will go to jail. I'm not so sure about the jail part. What the law says, a CBN Act of 2007, 6-month jail term prescribed, or 50,000 Naira fine, or both. Maybe the CBN governor is now saying that, the full wrath of the law will go down on those who are, messing up with the Naira.
Indeed, I understand what they're trying to achieve here, but sometimes you can't help but think, when you put out a policy regarding the CBN, those who are supposed to be the custodians of implementing that policy, I'm talking about the deposit banks.
The banks.
They'll be saying other things. They'll say, okay, fine, we're not even getting enough cash as you have stipulated that you're bringing out from the
I'm
system.
not aware that the banks are saying that officially.
Yes.
That's what the feelers are.
But that means, like you said, there's a vacuum in between the supply and the demand for
clearly there is a vacuum.
And I'm also a little bit concerned regarding the durability of this new Naira. It's becoming the butt of jokes out there on social media, especially when it comes to contact with moisture and everything. And it's like, I remember when it first came out, I was like,
I've only seen the 1,000 Naira notes. I've not seen the other one.
I've seen the 200, 1,000,
okay.
And I think I was even telling Aaron, was it the
other
last
day?
Weekend, we only had like 2,000 in my pocket and safety. So it's unfortunate, but this is where we find ourselves.
There's a challenge. The
implementation is challenging.
Have approached the president, and we know that the buck stops, at the president's table. And who knows, when he says that, give me 7 days, which will be 6 more days now, which will coincide with February the 10th, which is the expiration of the extension of the deadline. What will we expect the president to say? If you recall, in 2007 August, when former CBN Governor Charles Soludo presented the idea of redenominating the Naira, there was a huge outcry, by Nigerians, and the late President, Umar Musa Yar'Adua had to step in to say that we have to suspend this, because it doesn't look to me like this is what 3 months or so down into my tenure. It doesn't look to me like this is what Nigerians want, and it was suspended because the president says so. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari, who, by the way, understands...
But it wasn't close to an election.
Exactly. And as a matter of fact, he's somebody who understands this sort of game. In 1984, he did it as a military, head of state. Shall we say, got away with it? Because, again, the situations are similar. This time around, he's saying that give me 6 more days now, from today, to take a decision. What would that decision be? Will it be to honor what the APC governors are asking? To say, let the old and the new run pari passu.
Yeah.
If that is granted, could it possibly mean that the 900 billion that is still out there somewhere will come out? And if they do, will they come out for the elections? Will the president cave in because there are orchestrated, a noise somewhere? Let's see what happens.
Hopefully we'll get answers.
The president will, he holds the yam and the knife.
Indeed.
So we'll wait for him.
We'll wait for him. That's all on the week that was.